So today we're going to look at our transfer admission guarantee. This is our tag program, and we're going to look at basically how do you prepare, what is it, and where can you go to find more information. This is a great program to take advantage of, and we'll go over sort of all those specifics here today. So the tag program is a free program that allows students to guarantee a spot at one of the UC campuses. Currently, the universities of Berkeley, LA, and San Diego don't participate in the program. And you can only guarantee at one campus. And we'll look at a couple different strategies related to that here in just a moment. Not all majors are eligible. I give a couple different examples here, but for example, you cannot tag business administration at UC Irvine. At present, they do allow you to tag, however, for business economics. Computer science, you cannot tag currently at UC Irvine or UC Santa Barbara. And we'll talk about sort of, how these things can move and change, and also give you some links to sort of make sure that all the information you have is current and updated. So yeah, one of the things you can take a look at if you Google UC Tag Matrix, this will help you take a look at all the different requirements for the different universities and the different majors. Let me pull that up right now. So if I go here to the Tag Matrix, you'll see at the top, they're going to give all sorts of information here. And then you can take a look at things like what are the excluded majors? So at UC Davis, you'll see landscape architecture is one of those that you're not allowed to specifically tag for. But take a look through all this different information. This is a great resource for you to begin the process. So how do you prepare? Applications for tag occur in the September of your final fall before transfer. You can create a UC Transfer Admission Planner account. I'll pull that website up here in just a moment, but essentially if you Google UC, TAP, or Transfer Admission Planner for the UC, that will take you to the website where you can create an account even in your first semester. Which is a good idea to sort of be up to date on all the different news and informations about the tag program. At the time of your application in September, you must have already completed 30 UC transferable units. So that's the important piece, and we'll look at an example of an educational plan here in just a moment, but that's one of those reasons to meet with a counselor early, keep track of the units you're taking, make sure everything's sort of coming together in the way you're hoping. To be eligible for all of the tag programs, you should work to have your final English course done by the end of your final fall term. There are exceptions to this, and again, you'll find those in the tag matrix. But to be eligible for all of them, you want to make sure that your final English is done by the end of your final fall. Again, we'll take a look at an example of an educational plan here in just a moment. You also must have transferable level math completed by the end of the summer before your application for most programs. Again, the tag matrix is the resource to take a look to make sure that the program and university you're looking for sticks to this or has some potential exceptions. GPA requirements can range from a 3.0 at some universities up to a 3.4. Again, I would say take a look at each university, each major to make sure that your GPA is in that level to be competitive to make sure that you can guarantee that spot. So what else? A couple other important things. If you submit a tag, it will have no impact on being admitted to the other universities. For example, you might apply to Berkeley, LA, Cornell, and then tag at UC Davis. If Berkeley accepts you, you can say no to the guaranteed admission at Davis. If Davis is your first choice university, you really don't have to worry about those other three schools. I work with a lot of students whose first choice, for example, is computer science or food science at UC Davis, and they don't really have to worry about preparing for any other universities. As long as their planning is good, as long as their GPA stays high, they can make sure that they're going to be guaranteed over at UC Davis. During the application cycle, even if you submit your tag in September, you still need to go ahead and go through the application process in November. The tag is free, but you still have to pay the application for the UC in general when you go through the application process in November. Reminder, tag is free, and there is no negative impact on being admitted to any other university. So I'll show a quick example of an education plan. So fall, we're going to have English, some general education, hopefully some major courses. This is your first fall, your first spring, and your first summer. So that's your first year at DVC. By the end of that year, if you're going to only be at DVC for 2 years, you want to make sure that you have 30 units done by the end of that summer. 30 units to transfer. You also want to make sure that English is completed either in your final spring, summer, or fall. You want to make sure that that English 123 or 126 is done by the end of this final fall here. Remember, applications for TAG happen in September. Applications for the CSU and UC are going to happen in November. So 30 units done by the end of summer, your final English course done either here, but certainly done by the end of your final fall to be eligible for TAG. Your final spring, hopefully leftover general education, leftover electives, major courses if necessary. You do not have to have all the courses for your major done by the end of your final fall. If you have some major courses over in the spring here, that's fine. But generally for strength of transfer, if you're applying to very competitive programs, generally with the planning that I'm going to help you with, I'm going to want to make sure that most of those major courses are done by the time that you apply for the university. But like I said, you do not have to have all of the major courses done by the end of your final fall, but for many programs it does make you more competitive. So the goals with this, remember, final English done by the end of your final fall, transferable level math done by the end of summer. That doesn't mean that all your math has to be done by the end of your final summer. If you're an economics major, for example, applying for UC Davis, you might take Math 192 in the spring. You might take Math 193 in your final fall. That's completely fine. You'd be ready to go for the TAG program off to your university. 30 UC transferable units completed by the end of summer. And don't forget the GPA requirements needing to be met also. If you have all these pieces for TAG, you should be guaranteed a spot at one of the campuses as long as you're sort of following those requirements. But as always, meet with a counselor regularly. We will help to make sure that all of these are planned out very well to give you every opportunity to apply broadly to universities, but also have the opportunity to guarantee yourself a spot at one as well.